If you are in it here for make a change to the world, make a world a better place, yes, of course, we take it from our both hands. People won't change. People will never change, some people say. Now, I just want to reflect on that a bit. It is, to a certain extent, it is true. Science has proven that once you are a kid and once you become 9 years old, your brain is around 60% developed. And from 9 to 45 years, for example, 50 years, it grows very slow because by the time you turn 9 years, you have absorbed everything like a sponge. People can change. We all can change. We have to put a hard effort to learn behavior and relearn new behavior.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Everyday People by sivofec. And I'm going to hand over to Asanka to take it from there. Asanka, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm joining as usual from Australia. Before we go further, let us pay our respect to the traditional owners of the land, elders past, present, and emerging. Today, before we go to our topic, Lanka, I want to just talk about a little bit about sivofec. Last podcast we said sivofec has not come to a full stop. We are receiving overwhelming messages from people around the world who's doing podcasts asking to help us. And we are humble and honored to receive this from all our heart. We want to thank you for all these messages. It's coming from all around the world. Thank you very much. But I want to be really upfront and straightforward about sivofec so that we don't take much of your time if you have any other thoughts about sivofec. Sivofec is a concept 100% dedicated to do the right thing and build a society, a like-minded community, support each other unconditionally. Now, the co-founders of sivofec is Lanka from UK and Asanka from me. And behind the scene, who's there is our backbone. You won't see, we introduced him last week, is Indika from Sri Lanka, who's doing the video production. Now, all of us are here voluntarily. We have put our own resources, time and effort to this, not expecting anything in return. So for those who write to us, those who message us on Messenger, offering podcast improvements, how to do better podcasts to get more coverage, we just want to let you know we will be humbled and honored to receive your service. We will take it from our both hands. We are open for it. But if you are thinking of a financial gain from that, we just want to let you know up front, we will not be in a position to pay, or we are not in a position to do business. How we are going to grow sivofec is we are volunteering ourselves. We have our own other work to bring our income to our life. We are doing this as a volunteer work. Now, this is a very small, tiny concept. It's currently under a small sole trader registration. But we are planning to go not for profit by 2024, January, February, because we are receiving more inquiries. We are gaining momentum. Even though we go not for profit in mid-January, February 2024, we will not be aiming to gain any financial advantages from this. For example, we will not ask Australian government to fund us. We will not ask UK government to fund us. We will build this on our own. And if it comes to a stage that we need to recruit more people,
we need to build our society, if I interrupt you there, and we are looking to have like-minded people join us together. Is that what we are looking for, Asanka?
Correct. That's exactly right. Thank you for helping out, Lanka. So our concept is to build this without putting a burden to anyone. And like I said, if we grow bigger, if we need to pay our people who's working, then we will look at how to generate revenue to pay wages through different sources, but not going through making money. So for those who are messaging us, I hope if you watch this video, you will get the message very clear so that we don't take much of your time. And if you are in it here for make a change to the world, make a world a better place, yes, of course, we take it from our both hands. Now, Lanka, we will move to our topic. Sorry about this introduction earlier, but today I was thinking, Lanka, I just want to look at, there's a saying, people won't change. People will never change, some people say. Now, I just want to reflect on that a bit. It is, to a certain extent, it is true. Science has proven that once you are a kid and once you become 9 years old, your brain is around 60% developed. And from 9 to 45 years, for example, 50 years, it grows very slow because by the time you turn 9 years, you have absorbed everything like a sponge. You have created your behavior, your values around what you see, and then your brain has developed to a certain stage. Now, when you are in that stage, the most difficult part, what people say people will not change is unlearning learned behavior and relearning new behavior. Now, it's simple. If you look at here, if you go to a gym 2-3 days, would you achieve results? Would you put up muscles? Would you lose weight? No. You have to consistently do this for over a period of time to even see tiny results. And once you see tiny results, then you are motivated, it keep going. Now, the point that I want to talk about around that is people can change. We all can change. We have to put a hard effort to learn behavior and relearn new behavior. So with sivofec being in the forefront of helping others and doing the right thing, I think it needs to start with me, my family, people around. So what I'm thinking is when I wake up every day, I think of 3 to 4 things, some good that I want to do. Now I want to break it down to this layman terms in here. I got 2 kids. How can I appreciate 2 kids? How can I thank them for being with me for the day and being with me? How can I appreciate my wife? How can I appreciate my best friends around? No matter what circumstance they are in, no matter what they do, from my point of view, thank you for being with me. Now, appreciating and then doing something simple, for example, I was thinking like, can we do something very simple to make a step change? For example, say I want to help additional 1 work today at my home to support my wife. Or I want to go to the ground with my son for 5 minutes to spend quality time playing. You plan this ahead. You wake up in the morning, you think, okay, I'm going to do this. But we are all in a situation, things come up, and then we get diverted to do other things, and we forget. But if we wait till end of the day, I forgot to do this, your day is gone. But if you keep this in mind, and then remember, I plan to go with my son before I take him to school 5 minutes outside and play. Couldn't do it. How can I make a difference now? You can say, I'm picking up my son at 3 o'clock. I can do that then. You can still achieve what you're planning if you are committed to it. So the people who's talking about time management, people who's talking about discipline, big scale like Simon Sinek and other gurus on TED Talk, they bring all these theories to say how you're going to manage all this. But it's individuals simply can do it. All you got to do is put an effort to it, commit to it, and regularly monitor it. Lanka, over to you. From that point, do you want to build anything to that?
Yes, I'll go back to the original question of people can change or people can't change. People has circumstances, and to my life experience, yes, what I went through. I've been born and brought up in Sri Lanka. Then I moved into UK, where I built my career. So a lot of things changed with maturity and the requirement. The laws prevail in a country, how the culture and things like a lot of things affect our lives, external factors, as well as our internal factors as well. We grow old, we learn a lot of things, and we do change. I do agree on that. And I do also agree that it is difficult to change, because if you look at our mindset, we are set in a certain way that we think this is what our lives are, this is how our parents, that's how we've been nurtured, and the nature and nurture things affect how we behave, how our mind works, and things like that. And also, considering myself as well, I do plan things, I prioritize things. I look in a way that what needs to be done and what would be the right thing at that time. Because I want to share one certain example on this particular behavioral thing. And we most of the time regret why I didn't do that. Why I had the opportunity to do this and I didn't do that. And what I want to share with them is that the minute you think that yes, I could have done that one, but why I didn't do that one, that this question should never be asked, because there is a certain amount of information that is available. For example, if you move into UK, that time from Sri Lanka to England, why I moved? I could have stayed there, I could have come here. So the choices were there, and those choices were taken based on the information that we have. So we never should regret our decisions. And so on those decisions, we should stick by and plan accordingly and live forward and look for a better tomorrow. And we need to change. We need to. There is no doubt about not changing. We need to adapt to the situation and change. Asanka, did I deviate the conversation, or?
I think sort of you did, Lanka. I think
Yeah.
you went on to a more professional path on that. So, but that is okay because we are professionals in whatever the way we work. We have a professional life as well. But what I was trying to do is, Lanka, simplify, because this our podcast is aimed at everyday people, how we can make step changes in life. It is good that you brought about you moving to England, you're moving from Sri Lankan culture to British culture. That is a real key message there. I moved from England, Sri Lanka to England, England to Australia. So we learn a lot of different cultures, which is really nice. Now, the thing is, on that, what you say is we have a choice of sticking to our culture and not adapting to the new culture, or we have a choice of adapting to the new culture, learning the new culture, and also living our Sri Lankan culture in a way that everyone around is included. Now, that is the hard part on to most of us. But going back to everyday people, what I'm looking at, Lanka, is here. We are human beings. We get up in the morning. None of us get up in the morning to harm anyone. None of us get up in the morning to do the wrong thing. But the day goes, things happens. Now, I'll give you a classic example. The last week, while I was driving, this driver came from the left lane, cut right in front of me, pushed me to a side on the freeway entrance. I almost end up in an accident. I had to and then I was like, my instant thinking is chase this man, give him a finger. I was really angry because it was like, then I stopped, and then I thought, what else I can do? Immediately I went, what else I can do? I took 10 deep breaths, and then I said, okay, he must be in a real hurry to go somewhere. Or he must have some reason to do what he did. Why do I have to? It's gone, it's done and dusted. Let him go, and then I drove. Now, this is really hard. This is, to me, a really hard thing to do. I always been in my young age, I always been the one, someone overtake me or cut across, I just go and go against it. And I make sure they receive the message. But I think I gave the best message, even for him if he wants to think about whatever it is, or he must have had an emergency. So this is something what we really need to look at. Now, one thing that I'm going to vouch from here, Lanka, is we got to put this into practice. People are lecturers. People who talk, give ideas to others, always really good at telling, but sometimes they're not good at implementing. Sometimes, not always. But in here, our little podcast, from my point, what I'm going to do is, Lanka, I call you every day, right? Different times, your UK time and Australia time, I call you. I don't take the time to, hey, Lanka, how is your day? How are you? How is your son? I say, Lanka, have you sent this letter? Have you done this? Lanka, there's sivofec, there's email this. We need to do this. Now, what I'm going to change from today is, Lanka, I'm going to vouch to you when I call you before everything. Say, hey, Lanka, how are you? How is everything with you? How's your son? Is everything good? What is your day look like today? Now, if I do ask that, that's a different perspective. So this is the message I want to send to everyone as well. Now, this is sometimes hard for me, Lanka, because you, Lanka, you and I, different time zone, workaholics, and also we like to get to our point straight. You and I are the same. We like to get to our point straight. But my commitment is to you, Lanka, and the Indika same. Indika in Sri Lanka is the backbone, doing all these things. Now, Indika, not like you and me, Lanka, is under immense of challenge in Sri Lanka, and he's facing the challenges in day-to-day life. I don't need to talk much about that, but Indika is not living a comfortable, happy life there. He can spend this volunteer work with us. But somehow Indika has decided, I am going to give my time to build this without expecting anything. Now, if we have to take hats off to anyone, Indika is the one we have to take our hats off. So the same way, I'm going to find out how's Indika's family, how's Indika's daughter's arts going on. I'm going to ask Indika rather than say, Indika, where are we at this production? Are we going to launch this this week? Without asking that, my commitment is to ask Indika about him a little bit. What about you, Lanka? Did I get back to you on the topic?
Asanka, thank you. I got 2 points from your explanation. The first one is the one that you had the experience with the driver. I think way back we had a discussion. If you can remember Stephen Covey's paradigm shift, there was some kids running around the train, and the gentleman Stephen Covey is there, and he realized their mother passed away. I think it's a good book to read. Anyone want have time to read it? So that will give a clear idea of other person's mind, what they are in, rather than looking at what he had done. And we need to look into why, how could that have happened? Is that the natural behavior, or under the circumstances they might have changed? Yeah, that is one thing I've got from your explanation. And the other thing is, you mentioned something really, really interesting, is that how we start our conversation and how we can touch the other person. Yes, true. We both are matured, and we both have certain requirements, and we do look into certain matters together. We look at the life and a lot of things in a similar pattern. And because of that, we come into the discussion straight to the point. But as you said, it's good to start the conversation not in an iceberg, breaking the ice kind of thing. We can check into the personal things. Yes, hello, how are you doing? How was your day? Is it a convenient time to talk to you? And are you in a mood to discuss? Yes, those things do matter, because I think if we touch that person first and then see where they stand at the life, right? For example, if I'm in a desperate situation and you're trying to explain something that is more important to you, but to my priority list, it might be not on the first list. So then my answer would not be the exact ones and much productive or the right ones. What do you think, Asanka?
Exactly right. That is the part that we want to try and understand, because understanding the other person is the hardest thing to do. Easiest thing is you communicate, but the communication is encoding and decoding. It has to be received by the receiver the same way it is intended to send, or the message, original message should be received. Now, this is where the clutter comes in between. Now, when you have a better understanding of the other person, and if you know the emotional side, the personal side of the other person, if you are opening up the conversation, asking how their day is, why are they up to, then you have a source of judgment on your own. My question is not going to work for Lanka today. I need to park that question. That's another time for me to ask that question. The same way, for example, Lanka, I don't know, I'm again relating to my family. When my wife comes from work, if she's tired of something and if she's overwhelmed with anything, I'm anxious to tell me something happened to me. When I try to open the conversation, if my wife says, yeah, and then that means I know she's not paying the attention. So then I got to stop that and say, how's your day been? Have you had challenges? Then I hear my wife's side. So when I hear from my wife's side her challenges, then I automatically, this is not the time to talk about me. This is the time to pay attention to my wife. There'll be time after that to talk about my side. Understanding these are the things that lead to misunderstanding as well. A lot of the time, misunderstanding between good friends, family, work colleagues. There's a word saying backstabbing, talking behind my back in organization. All these things happen because of the level of understanding. If you are in a crystal clear level of understanding, you have anything, you should be able to, without any argument, without any aggression, you should be able to talk about the situation and then sort it out. But it's a hard thing to do.
I agree to your point. I couldn't agree more, Asanka. Yes, exactly where I stand as well. And thank you very much for joining us for this podcast. And Asanka, can we wrap up now?
Of course, yes. I think enough for today. Viewers, if you have anything to discuss like this to help everyday people, if you have real life experience, please do write to us, or please do email, or you can join us. We can organize anything. Your thoughts can be shared, your ideas can be shared, or you can have come on show with us live. And again, for those podcasts, people around the world who's offering support, thank you very much. We'll see you again next week.
Yeah.